Yeah, Third String Podcast. You already know. Talking topics, all sorts. Always everything sports. Third String Podcast. Plenty dialogue and banter. Talking all teams. But we always repping for Atlanta. Come join the discussion. You don't want to miss it. Keep it entertaining. All facts, authentic. NBA to NFL. And everything in between. This is Third String Podcast. Welcome to the team. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We're the Third String Podcast, back with another jam-packed episode here today. Daryl, we're at episode 49, my good friend.
You know what's funny? I had who I was dedicating this show for, and I completely forgot. Because it wasn't
number 49.
No, it wasn't off number 49.
Oh, it was just a person?
Yeah, it was a person I was dedicating it to, and I forgot. Let's just I don't know. Let me think about it.
I think we can say it's like a gone fishing type of thing, like the TNT people use that. The Clippers have gone fishing.
The Clippers.
We can just segue right into this thing.
Man, you went straight into it.
It's the only way to do it. It's
right.
the only way to do it. So, you want to start out with your take on the whole Clippers thing?
Yeah,
I have some stuff to say.
Yeah, because I'm the one I picked. First of all, I picked the Clippers to face the Celtics in the finals. I thought of the East Coast, the East Side Conference, Eastern Conference, the Celtics were the most talented team.
Yes.
I thought the same thing with the Clippers in the Western Conference. They were the most talented team. If you just look at their roster.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The roster: Zubac, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, Patrick Beverly, Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, and we're not even talking about still Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
I thought they were the most talented team. So I'm gonna tell you what happened last night. Not last night, but the game 7 that happened.
Correct.
I was watching till almost halftime. They were up by 12 points at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped watching because I assumed the Clippers were going to blow them out. Because I felt like the Clippers are the veteran team. Kawhi is the reigning finals MVP. So he's been here before. He's
multiple times
MVP, yeah. So I felt like, okay, cool. They're going to have this in the back. The Nuggets are still fairly young. So I thought
they're
the Nuggets
scrappy and they have a lot of fight in them.
Yeah. But I thought because the Nuggets were young, they weren't ready for this moment. So I didn't give them that much credit, even though they came back 3-1 against Utah. So even though this is not the first time they did it.
Wow. They did. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they came back and did it. So, but I thought they were too young for this moment.
Yeah. So
I went in my room. Me and the wife just watching whatever, and I get the alert on my phone, and then I turn to it, and the Nuggets are almost up by 20.
I just want to know real quick before you get there. So you're watching TV now at this point,
right?
With the missus,
right?
So you get the alert.
Yeah.
What do you say? You're watching something with her. So what do you say to her when you're like, hey, I got to change the channel real quick?
I was like, no, I didn't even change it because the score at that point is so lopsided. There's no point. It was almost like, remember when we were supposed to watch the Braves and I was, and you text me, it was like the Braves on. I was like, yeah, I'm about to turn to it now. You was like, don't worry about it.
That when they were down, it was like 15-0 first inning.
Yeah. And you said don't. That's how I felt. It was like when I saw the alert that the game,
I forgot about that.
So I saw the alert that the game was close, but by the time I saw it and turned to it, the Nuggets were up, and I'm just talking about on my phone. I looked at it on my app. The Nuggets were up by almost 20 points at this point. And I'm looking at the box score, and that's the first thing I'm looking at. And to see Paul George, I think, had 10 points.
They had him and Kawhi had like 24 combined.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard had 12 points at halftime and finished the game with 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
They went 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
0 for 11 while Jamal Murray dropped 40.
Yep.
Pitch dropped a triple-double.
Yeah. So
I was in. The thing I did was I was excited to watch SportsCenter, Undisputed, Get Up, anything Sports Channel to talk about this because we need to figure out what just happened here.
My turn.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
Doc Rivers. He's not the man. He got to go.
I disagree, but go ahead.
You can disagree all day.
No. Let me say that. I agree with you. The main reason why I believe they lost. But go ahead. I'll let you finish and I'll go.
So it's a mixture. He can coach. We know this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We know this. When let me step back. It's a yes and no for me too. Okay, you convinced me without even convincing me. But it is a yes and a no. Why?
Right.
It's a no. I'll start with that first because he can coach. Second, he has been trying to preach defense.
Right. He's a defensive coach.
When they did do it a few games back, they locked down and blew them out.
Right.
And it allowed the team to showcase their offensive talent when they play on the defensive side and they can flip it on the other side and score.
Right.
They're dominant. They don't listen to him. None of these teams seem to listen to him. Because he always has teams full of scorers.
Yes.
Always.
I think it was only the Boston team was the only team that really loved him.
Yes. Yeah, father figure loved him /
really loved him.
Their big three were veterans that were like, hey, we don't know how much we can still play. They could.
Right.
But we gotta get a ring. We have to come together for a bigger purpose. That was maturity. I'm not saying Kawhi's not mature, but there's something with Paul George is bro, you can play. You can also play defense. But why can't you show up in the playoffs?
Yeah, he's Paul George is and the funny thing is he's trash. This ain't the first time he's trash. He's never before this never got out the first round since the Pacer days.
Yes, yes.
And think of it, the team with Russell Westbrook, they didn't get out the first round.
Yeah.
He has you saw the shot where it is off the side of the backboard, and it's it was almost have you ever played a video game against a younger cousin or a brother?
Yes.
Doing whatever because you're trying to let them win.
Correct.
How this felt. It was I'm just gonna do whatever at this point. But this is why I agree with you, but to an extent. I blame this on the organization because for the simple fact is you let these guys do whatever they wanted. Kawhi, you don't want to play today? You ain't got to play today. Paul George, you can play. You can sit out whenever you want.
Do you feel like Kawhi got corrupted by coming here?
Yeah, because they weren't serious. They weren't serious when the season started. Kawhi was playing every other game. And I kept saying, how are they going to build chemistry? Remember at the beginning, I was the Hawks should pay attention to how they play together because DeAndre Hunter was Kawhi light, and I said Reddish was a Paul George light. They should look at each other and see how they play together to do for them. The problem is, how many times did they play together? They were sitting out games. They were just sitting out games. And then when it came to the playoffs, when it came to the bubble, Montrezl Harrell, we know he had a death in the family, but he's had a super extended away from the team, right? Lemon Pepper Lou over there left, and then he had to be quarantined. Patrick Beverly wasn't there. They were the only team that unanimously decided to, after the Milwaukee thing happened, the shooting, to leave the bubble. It was they was never in it. Their hearts were never in it, and they were never. They treated the regular season we got this. We don't need to build. And then you never seen a new team do that. You might see a veteran team that's been around each other do this, but you never seen a new team just say, "F the regular season." We'll just turn it on when the playoffs happen. And what happened? They couldn't turn it on.
Yeah,
they couldn't do it. So I blame this on Kawhi Leonard. I blame this on the Clippers allowing their stars to be divas.
And man, the LA life.
Yes,
it's something about the LA team that's the Clippers. That's not the Lakers.
Yes.
Some players that go to the Lakers, get turn into divas.
It's almost like they're the Cleveland Browns of the NBA in a sense, even though they still make playoffs. But it's they had these expectations. Think of the Lob City. You had these expectations for Lob City that just never happened. And
if you look back at that team,
the team was good, right?
Yes, players and then offense. There was no defense on that team.
Yes, and it was you would get all these highlights. Remember DeAndre Jordan dunks on I got his name, Brandon Knight. Dunks on Brandon Knight and makes the face and all the lobs of Patrick.
Yeah,
Griffin dunk.
Blake dunks on dude that was on the Celtics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you talk, but the fact is they never do something when they had it. They almost beat the Warriors one year, and then you think they're about to go over a hurdle the next year, and it just never happens. It's like the Clippers have such a curse on them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the funny thing. Kawhi and Paul George only have one more year left on their contracts.
Yeah.
You mortgage your entire future for this.
Yeah.
And you got one more year to put it together. Basically, you need to tell Kawhi we're not doing load management next year.
Yeah. No, I get it. You're going to have to jump back, which I believe the league will be back to more so normal. He needs to get back into that Popovich type mindset vibe or the Nick Nurse type. Well, even I'm not even going to say Nick Nurse because he was on the Spurs and then he did 1 year at Toronto, which tells me he still had that Popovich mindset that was instilled in him.
Right.
Now, 2 years removed, he's a little more free and he's forgetting some of those philosophies. It showed. It showed, man. Like, you're not taking over games. You're not as dominant. Like, I actually saw him complain more.
Yes. He's throwing his hands up.
Yes.
And stuff you never see. He got spoiled.
Yeah.
I think he got spoiled. And it was just like, this should tell you that mortgaging your whole – remember we used to say that back when we first started, we were talking about the Hawks and how would you trade for LeBron? And I will always say –
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm not mortgaging my whole future for a mid-30s LeBron.
Yeah, correct.
And this is why. They mortgage their whole future on this. And
I think they can get it done next year if they get it right. I mean, they still have the talent. They're still – even though they lost and they're out, they're still the better team if they want to be.
Yes. But
I mean, none of that matters because they're done.
Yeah, you also have 4 free agents. You have Marcus Morris is a free agent. Patrick Beverly is a free agent. Reggie Jackson is a free agent. Montrezl Harrell is a free agent. Montrezl Harrell is going to command a lot of money, which I think, personally, he lost a lot of money in this series. First of all, he's a 6'7" center. Yeah. And Djokovic just played him like mouse in the house. Yeah. I can do whatever I want. You too small to guard me. So you're going to be commanding all this money, and you can't even stop like the skilled centers in the league, and you're playing center.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll be back for the Clippers, but you got to try to get Marcus Morris back. I don't even know if you want Beverly back because Beverly talked all that trash.
I think you still want him for that fight in him, that dog that the trash talking. If he can back it up when he's on.
Yeah, but that dog.
It's Rondo-like.
40 points on that dog. Jamal Murray had 40 points. This is one of the
Jamal Murray's been on one during these playoffs. Like, the bubble has fit him.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you have so many. Who has the defenders like the Clippers? Who can throw Patrick Beverly, then Kawhi and Paul George, like, to defend the perimeter, and he dropped 40. And not only he dropped 40, Joker had a triple-double.
Yeah.
I
get it. I mean, if they can get their mind right and learn from this and be like, hey, we were embarrassed last year, they could for sure run it back next year.
No, they could, but to me, it has to have a mind change.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And the thing is, the Clippers organization got to be creative. See, this is why I don't think that's going to happen, because Paul George basically said it was never championship or bust. It was like what they mortgaged their whole future for you. It was championship or bust. Paul George said that the guy who had 10 points, who shot off the side of the backboard, who has been like, how dare you?
Right.
You know, how dare you when they mortgage their whole future? Let me tell you about their coaching staff, right? Forget about Doc Rivers, right? They have Tyronn Lue.
Sure.
They got Sam Cassell. They have people who's been on the, is that a team that's just out there just to play?
Nah, that's championship bound.
You got Jerry West in the front office.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the championship. How dare Paul George say it was never championship or bust? Why are you here, man?
Yeah.
And
he might be one of the problems too.
I can see them not re-signing Paul George and being all in on Kawhi, but not
all in on Kawhi like you were more so with Toronto, and then get maybe not a superstar like Paul George can be, but maybe an all-star as the Robin role.
I mean, look at who they won. He won the championship last year. Now, granted, we all know that a lot of things happened with the Golden State Warriors that helped them win the championship. But don't you think he wish he probably had a Kyle Lowry?
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, but wouldn't you rather have a Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet, Pascal?
That's what I'm saying. Like, get people who are all-stars or are rising to be all-stars, while let Kawhi be the superstar of the team. You don't always need two superstars. No, you don't always need a Batman and Batman.
Yeah, but the problem is the NBA is in love with this
Batman.
Yeah, and they keep saying like Trae Young, are y'all gonna try to get us all-star to Atlanta? And I'm always thinking, no, develop the people you have now.
He is an all-star. He needs to develop to a superstar.
Yes, but John Collins can be it should be your Robin. Cam Reddish should be you don't need to always be. We're so in love with names.
Yeah.
And forgetting Giannis Antetokounmpo, every time the playoffs happen, remember Toronto shut him down last year.
Yes, they did. They figured out what he likes to do, and they just stopped it.
They said he can't shoot. Miami built a wall at the free throw line because he can't shoot.
Yeah.
So you getting so in love with
so disappointing about that too. 2 years in a row,
right?
You get trapped doing the same mistakes. Like, what did you learn?
Well, how about this? The Rockets. I never liked the small ball. I never thought the small ball was going to work. And what it did was it reared its ugly head. Russell Westbrook can't shoot. He's not efficient.
We've known that.
Yes, like these two, I'm saying that these multiple stars don't always work. The Rockets still got pushed to Game 7 against the Thunder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With aging. Their star is aging.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't get what, like, building teams kind of doesn't matter anymore. Like the Spurs, like you said, the Spurs kind of build a team. Yeah. And it kind of just doesn't matter when
they keep a core, and then they know their formula, their format of what they want to do, and then they'll go find those pieces.
Or how about, look at this. Would you call Jimmy Butler a superstar? Now, he's an all-star.
He's an all-star that can body the superstars if he wants.
They're in the Miami Heat don't have a superstar. Boston Celtics might have a rising superstar, but he's not a superstar yet. And they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, these people,
I feel like they have a superstar or a rising one, and you have an all-star for sure. And then you have Brown, who is an all-star.
Yeah, he's like a Jimmy Butler, to be like Jimmy Butler.
So you got 3 all-stars with one that's on the verge of being a superstar.
Yeah, and basically almost homegrown your team.
Yes.
Now Gordon Hayward and of course Kemba were free agents that came over, but the core of it was Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. These are your guys that you drafted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everybody's so trying to chase the LeBron model that these linking up doesn't work all the time. And you're mortgaging your future to do this. I don't know if
that blueprint is the Celtics. That link up thing is the Celtics because LeBron even admits that they set the blueprint for the Heat. Yeah.
They started it, but that's not even what they're doing now. That didn't even last that long, right? They won 1 championship. They could have won 2 if Perkins didn't get hurt for Game 7 against the Lakers. But that still didn't last that long. And then the Heat were supposed to win, 5, 6, 7 championships. And they won 3. So
they won 2.
The Heat won 2?
Well, they won 2 under LeBron, and they won the first one in 06.
Oh, yes, you're right. Because he was there for 4 years. He won 2 out of 4. Okay, my bad. Yeah.
They lost the first year, 2 in a row, lost the last year.
Yes, you're right. So then again, and that proves my point. They only won 2.
But that team was so similar to these Clippers.
Yes.
Team. Like, they're so stacked, but you guys don't have a team. Like, you're so flashy. You're so superstar top heavy. With no defense on the back end.
Or how about this? The Nuggets all those people are drafted. Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, Joker, they're drafted.
Yeah.
And then you just submit stuff like Paul Millsap and Jeremy Grant, like little signing, but you wouldn't call them superstar signing.
At most, he's aging now, but Paul was an all-star. That's it.
Yeah, he was an all-star. And then Doc Rivers, and your point about Doc Rivers, and this is why I agree with you. Do you know this is his third time blowing a 3-1 lead?
Also, he has 8, the most of all time, 8 losses. He's 0-8 for game 7s.
Yes.
Most of all time.
He has the most losses in, like, I think it's like clinching games.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah. He is the most of all time.
Like, and he's great. He's a good coach, but I just think we're so superstar driven that the Clippers let them run them up. Basically, the Clippers like, this has never happened to us before. We never got a player like Kawhi, and we never got a player like Paul George. But then I'm thinking, for a few years you had Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and they were going all-stars too.
Facts.
But it's like you let them run them up. You let Lou Will. Remember what I told you about Lou Williams? I said they should have sent him home.
Oh, yes.
I was one. Everybody told me, they were telling me, oh, it's just wings. It's just Magic City.
He never was his dominant self, even before or when he came back.
Yeah. And he's on. They said Lou Williams. I'm watching SportsCenter now. He said we had the talent. I don't think we had the chemistry. Well, part of not having the chemistry is you going to Magic City.
Yeah,
and have to sit out a couple of more games.
Yeah,
and people attack. And I think people attack me because sometimes, as us Black people, we stick up for each other, which is not wrong, but then not all the time we want to call people out. He shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
He did that. He hurt his team. Not only did he hurt the bubble, he hurt his own team and his chemistry. He was terrible. Lou Williams was terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't. Like, if he was a free agent, I wouldn't resign him.
Yes, he was. And he's the guy that you want to kind of close the game. Like,
for sure.
He was terrible, man. And it was just, I literally, you should have saw my face when I got that alert and I went on to my app and I saw how far. And I'm just, at this point, I'm just watching the highlights.
I just watched the game and then I turned away because I was like, they're going to come back. And then I turned back and then Joker's being interviewed. I'm like, wow, they don't interview the losing team. Because the
problem is it kept growing. Like, as far as you said, like, even when they took the lead, you're like, basketball is a game of runs.
Oh, so, they got it down to 9.
Yes. And then
it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I'm like, it's over. It's over. If
you saw the picture of Kawhi and Paul George on the bench, you could tell it was over with. Yeah. They were defeated. It was over with.
Yeah.
So now that
it's just weird, by the way, with that mindset, because you remember that one Clippers team that was super flashy with the Swaggy P. 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 24-point deficit. They came back and won.
Yes.
Like, it's possible.
And also last year, look how scrappy they were last year.
Yeah.
They mortgaged
their
They mortgaged their whole future to go one more round in the playoffs. Like that
one more round and one game away. Hey.
But I mean, this is why I'm so against mortgaging your future. Like for your superstar, like they traded away like up to 2024. Like,
dang.
Like picks away to, and they don't have this year's draft pick because they traded away for the Marcus Morris thing. They have mortgaged their whole future for this.
Yeah.
And got rid of their young player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to the Oklahoma.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Their best young player they had to put in the trade. This is why you don't do it.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think now? So we're in the conference finals.
Yes.
Denver and LA play tomorrow, or I think
tonight.
Today. They play tonight.
I'm recording tonight. Yep.
Game 2 of Boston and Miami is tonight. What do you see?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. What do you see? The finals looking like, the rest of it going like.
Of course I can make predictions, but it'll be very hard. Either or for sure can make it on the east side because that went overtime last time. It's going, those things are going to be like 3 to 5 point
block.
Yeah.
On Jason Taylor by Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
an amazing block.
He's Bam, by the way, is the X factor for that team. He is the secret ingredient to make that work. Either or can make it. So obviously, I think Heat. You think Celtics, but either or.
Either or.
But as far as West Coast, it has to be LA. If you don't close this out, do it and close it. I don't know what's wrong with you. Like we're gonna have a whole nother Clippers conversation if you don't make this happen, because they're talent wise and just how top heavy your superstar is. There's no reason for you to not make it.
Yeah,
like you are literally destined, LeBron James, to make it to the finals yet again. Like it's so the East there. It's gonna be a dogfight, but yours on paper is literally a walk-in. It's a 4-0-4-1 sweep.
Yeah.
Or a 4-0 sweep. Yeah.
If you don't take them seriously, you need to take them seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to take them seriously.
But I think LeBron was tired of losing the first games of the other series.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to be serious. And LeBron has that now that mindset where he's like, it's time to play. And you see it now. He's back at like how he had in Miami, where he's like determined it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying they're going to make it.
And the one thing that they can do that nobody else really can do is they have bigs. They play very old school style. So
and they can go back to that now because they're not playing the Rockets.
Yeah. So Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee barely played because why? They can't do anything against that small ball lineup. But now because of Jokic, they can play, and they have to match up against Jokic. They're going to do a better job on Jokic. They're not going to stop him. They're going to do a better job than Montrezl Harrell, who's 6'7".
True.
It's a 7-footer who's skilled, who's a skilled 7-footer. I mean,
and now you have what 2 7?
Yep, you got JaVale McGee, who's 7 foot. Dwight Howard, who's like 6'10", but still
7.
Athletic. Yeah. But you still have a better matchup against them, and then you could put LeBron, and you still have AD. Anthony Davis.
I forget. Yeah.
And you still have LeBron. You still have Rondo, who can defend the perimeter.
Yes, like your boy was supposed to.
Yes.
For the Clippers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul George.
Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard were supposed to defend the perimeter.
Yeah.
But LeBron will and Rondo will defend the perimeter. I see it going, I'm going to say 4-1 LA as well. And I think when they're up at 3-1, they're not going to take these boys lightly. And
no, LeBron's going to go in and put that foot down.
Yeah, put their foot down.
Yeah.
Now the most interesting is East. I have Boston. You have Miami. Either one though.
Either or. I just say that's what I was saying, that the Lakers one is pretty much like you should be doing it. Like let's not debate this. The other one, especially from waiting for them to match up, and then they finally did match up, and seeing what that game was like. Yeah, either or. Game 6, Game 7.
Right.
Whoever best team will win. That's it.
Yeah, I have Boston. I think Boston's the most talented team. But what I do like about Miami is first they play defense. Hawks need to be looking at this. They play defense. And second of all, like their rookie Tyler Hero don't care about nothing. That dude has been here,
man.
He's been here before. Kendrick Nunn is playing well. They have a team. Boston was up by double digits at one point in this game, and they came back.
Right.
To overtime. And that block, because you got to say Jimmy Butler was guarding Jason Tatum. Butler, Jason Tatum gets around Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler stops. And then as Jason Tatum goes up for the dunk, how many people would have tried to contest that block that Bam did? And Jimmy Butler trusts Bam to make that block, to stop him. And that was like the Heat. If the Heat get here, like the Heat could win it all.
Bro, that's what I'm saying for one. Two, if the Heat win it all with that team, that team has no superstars.
No, it has an all-star, but it has no superstars.
But when have we seen this?
That's why I'm saying that's mortgaging our entire future. The Denver Nuggets don't have a superstar. They have all-star. They don't have a superstar.
But if I'm not mistaken, though, if I'm not mistaken, don't the what's that called? The Heat have the highest salary cap?
Yeah, They've always had the highest salary. Like,
But I'm saying it worked. It's funny how it actually worked.
Because they don't care. Like, one thing Jimmy Butler said was when he went to the Heat, because they said, we don't care about next year. We trying to win now. So we're not here talking about, well, in next year we'll have this much cap space. We'll go after this player, this player. They're like, no, we cool with the players that we have now, and let's roll them out. And that's what all these other teams are talking about next year and cap space and what they can do. That's why I get mad again, and I keep bringing up our Hawks. I get mad at watching reading these articles that talk about we have the most cap space. Can we bring it off? And I'm like, so develop the talent that's here.
You know, I was mad. I felt like this team right here could have gone second round.
Yes. This team,
like, even with all those people who had 1-year contracts, that team had enough talent. If coached right and had good chemistry, this team could have made the playoffs for sure.
Yep.
But I thought the second round. I thought we could at least be a 6th, 7th, 8th seed.
Yeah, if John Collins didn't get that suspension, we would at least been in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
We would, because we were 5 games away from the Wizards. We would at least been in the bubble.
Right.
And we don't play defense, and we shoot a lot of threes, but percentage-wise, we're one of the bottom.
You don't play defense with a defensive coach.
Yeah, but that's because Trae Young is 6 foot and too small to guard anybody. So the problem is, and the real problem is, Kevin Huerter is not that great a defensive player either. So
no, he's not.
So this is what I think the Hawks should do. We're gonna go on the Hawks tangent real quick, just real quick, then we'll go back. Cam Reddish should be the starter. He should start at the shooting guard because he's 6'8" and can defend. You need somebody to hide Trae Young's inability to defend.
Right.
And then you have Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter, all that can defend. John Collins has to do better at defending. Even though he has improved, he needs to be even better defending. They have to defend. They cannot be last place.
Right.
And if they are last place, and if we do not make the playoffs, I'm with you. I like Lloyd Pierce. I really do. But he should be gone.
Yeah. Who do you get?
It was funny. You know what's funny? If we would have been if we would have this year, let's say this year he would have been I thought like Billy Donovan would have been it was a lot of coaches who are out right now.
Yeah.
That I thought potentially was good. Who was the Sixers coach? I thought that got fired. He could like coach now. Excuse me. Him and Billy Donovan, I thought would have been great.
Now, let me ask you, going back a little bit with this team, but going back a little bit coaching-wise, do you think that Coach Bud could help this team?
Yeah, yes. Because Coach Bud is serious about his system and serious about defense. Coach Bud is great in the regular season. He's just not the playoffs is where he gets iffy at. But because he was an not experienced coach, because he was new coach when we got him too.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he just didn't want to be a part of a rebuild. But I think if he was here with his experience of a 60-win team and how to do it, because Lloyd Pierce never was a head coach. And then the Sixers were pretty bad up until a couple of years when he was there. He was in the process. And then that process hasn't worked. That's another process that just hasn't worked. So tanking all these years for first-round picks don't work either, man.
And you're rocking the hat.
Yeah, I'm rocking the hat. Everybody should follow Miami's motto. And every year they're going for it. Every year Miami is like the 8th seed. And you're always
that's true. No matter what, rebuild or not, they're always when
are they going to blow up the team? They're too old. And then here they are in the Eastern Conference Finals, a game up.
Yeah.
Everybody should be looking at that. Speaking
them, and they should be paying attention to the Warriors. Because the Warriors, they're built that.
No, they're self-made too.
Yeah.
And then look at it. The Denver Nuggets are self-made. Boston is self-made. So all this is – there's only one team that's not self-made, and that's the Lakers.
LeBron's not trying. Yeah. He doesn't have time.
LeBron doesn't do self-made. But all these other teams are self-made, and you need to look at them. Like Kendrick Nunn was undrafted.
Yeah.
Remember they had Hassan Whiteside, who was undrafted.
Yeah.
They're just – there should be models of what we kind of look at and stop chasing stars. Stop.
Hey, I'm with you.
Um,
But I think it's time to head towards
okay. We were
the
trying
meat and
to,
potatoes of this podcast.
yeah, we were trying to avoid. Okay.
I know. We talked about Hawks, so we are primarily, you guys know, Atlanta sports-based podcast.
Yes.
Okay, fair. Hawks, yes, they're gonna get it together. We believe that, but there's another squadron that has started playing at least one game this year.
Right.
We talked about Braves a little bit, but we're talking about those Falcons.
Did you did you watch the game first and foremost?
I watched some of it.
Okay.
No, I watched some of it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I kept it on Red Zone primarily. NFL Red Zone. You don't, well, if I'm not mistaken, you don't really like it.
Yeah, I don't.
Red, but I do because it shows me everything. There was nothing really exciting, but when I was watching Red Zone, I kept seeing the Seahawks just running it up on us.
Right.
But then you look, the best stats of the day at the end was Matt Ryan with 450, but 2 interceptions or 1?
No, yeah, 1 interception.
Okay, 1 pick. Still can't get away from throwing them INTs, but
that was at the end of the game, so it wasn't even like.
Okay, fair. So he did good. He did good. But some people got hurt by not having a preseason.
Right.
Including Tom Brady and the Bucks. But yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, you ready for me?
I'm ready.
All right. So, of course, I'm watching primarily 2 games on Sunday. Of course, we're watching the Falcons game, but we're also watching Baltimore because my wife is a Baltimore fan.
And they look like they haven't skipped a beat.
They look like they haven't skipped a beat, but we're turning back and forth from those 2 games.
Yes.
So when the Falcons game come on, first of all, let's talk about the good. You already spoke about it. Matt Ryan threw 450 yards.
Hey, I'll take that.
That's insane. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The 1 interception is at the end of the game. I don't really blame him for that. It was at the end of the game. 3 people over 100 yards receiving.
That's incredible.
3 people: Russell Gage, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones. Julio Jones leads the league in receiving 157 yards. Also, who looked good? Takk McKinley had a sack. Grady Jarrett had a sack, and then Dante Fowler had a half sack with, I think, Grady Jarrett. I think he had Grady had a 1.5, and then Dante Fowler had the
so tell me this: why did we lose?
Oh, I'm about to get into that. Todd Gurley looked, for the most part, pretty good.
Okay.
All right. So you're saying, well, all this happened, why did we lose? Well, let me tell you why we lost. The same reason why we keep losing last year. Offensive line, they couldn't, again, we cannot get 1 yard to save our lives rushing the ball.
Yeah.
It was 3rd and 1 and got stuffed in the backfield. We went for 4th downs.
Who was the back?
It was Gurley.
You don't know.
Yeah. 4 times we went for it on 4th down. 1 was a fake punt, I believe. 0 for 4 on 4th down.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to love this. The secondary. Isaiah Oliver. First of all, when I was watching the first couple of drives, they had them. It was 3rd and 23. Russell Wilson throws a pass. I forgot the receiver. Pass interference.
Right.
Broke up the play. Your boy, Ricardo Allen, pass interference.
Right.
And then
and for the record, he's not my boy. Y'all know how I feel.
He's not my boy. I'm just calling him your boy.
No, I know.
After we went for it on a 4th down, the next drive, I think they went for it on 4th down to the DK Metcalf touchdown where he just destroyed Isaiah Oliver. Destroyed, again, the secondary. The problem is Matt Ryan put up pretty historical numbers. Listen,
he crossed over to 9th all time.
Yeah, 9th all time. I think he passed, was it John Elway?
Yes.
All right. I get on here and I bashed Matt Ryan last year. I bashed him a lot, right? This is one game I can't bash him.
No, that's why I started with him.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's a good start. If he can come out the gates like that, That's a great start, and I'm excited to see if they can get everything else together. The receivers did their thing. He did his thing. Now, what are the rest of y'all boys gonna do?
Yes, the offensive line did. We can't get that. We can't get 1 yard to save our lives.
Yeah.
How many years have we was talking about the power running play that we cannot for our lives do that? We on third down, we cannot get off the field.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating as a Falcons fan to watch this every year. Soon as DK Metcalf has that touchdown, you know what I did? Because it was 12-14 at that point.
Yeah.
And we're still close.
Yeah.
12-14. When he did that after we couldn't convert on fourth down, I changed it.
Yeah.
I was done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I still every now and then turn to it watching the Baltimore game. But I basically said, because I was like you coming in, I was excited we didn't have a preseason so we didn't have that expectation like, oh man, our line sucks. We just didn't know.
But when it just started and they started losing and the spread kept getting up, I was like, oh, okay, so it's 2019 again.
Yes, the same play. I think, other than Adam Gase for the New York Jets or Dan Quinn is on the hot seat. And if we lose,
he's been on the hot seat, man, for like 2-3 years.
But it's like, yes, and if we lose against Dallas, which Dallas is still a good team, so
they are.
But losing against them, like we have to have serious. Me and you come back next week, and if we lose against Dallas, have to have serious conversations of when are we firing him.
I said, I don't remember when or what exactly I said, but that joint would have to happen in the middle of the season. You cannot finish the season with that foolishness. There's no more, let's have a positive record, even if it's one game over 500.
Right.
We can't do, you can't keep, like you were saying with basketball, we can't keep waiting for next year.
Yep.
Like, people age. You have a core now. Again, I would trade Julio Jones. Yes, people, I said that because I feel bad for him.
I've heard that.
He's young. Let him fly.
Especially when you're seeing like Kansas City do their thing. You saw New Orleans do their thing. You saw Baltimore do their thing. Like you seen like Buffalo do their thing. Like you seeing these teams, Pittsburgh, like, and you're just watching us, and it's like, it's the same thing.
Like we deserve to be in the NFL.
It's the same thing every year, man. The same thing we're complaining about every year.
Yeah.
They stopped running the ball with Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
They just stopped. They didn't even put him into the running game. He had no receiving catches. They didn't even put him in the running game.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating to be a Falcons fan every year and do, especially when I'm watching Baltimore on the other screen. I'm watching Baltimore. Man.
Yeah. It just appears to me it's like you guys believe in these people, but you don't have the right GM. We know that. You don't have the right coaching. And it's like you get people who you guys believe in that. I'm like, why do you believe in that person? Some of these players. Why are these other squads able to make good moves?
Right.
Why are other squads so attractive and appealing for other good players to come to that team, that city? Atlanta is probably one of the most attractive cities in the world next to an LA or a New York. People should want to play here. We make the playoffs every year, usually, from all our sports pretty much. Why aren't people attracted to coming here? It's just like you have a loser mentality as a city.
Yeah.
Besides United.
You know who I'm tired of, really?
Who?
Tack McKinley. I'm so
You've been tired. That's why he out after this year.
I'm so sick of him crying on social media that he didn't get his contract picked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know who you should be mad
Yourself?
at? No, Vic Beasley. Be mad at Vic Beasley because they picked his contract up and he was terrible.
Yeah.
And he acted like he didn't want to be there. But you see,
by the way, how did he do? I didn't watch. I fell asleep.
I didn't watch Tennessee, but like you're sitting here crying every time you get on social media. Like he did a sack, he posted him sack, and he was like, "Don't show me love now," and then hashtag contract year. And I'm like, man,
one sack.
Yeah, but I'm like, shut up, man. Like your stats haven't been that great, and you're sitting here crying every time, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that's somebody I'm really,
ready to go.
Yeah, I am ready to go. And despite if he does good or not, and I'm not saying he's not a good player or not, I'm just ready for him to go.
Yeah,
because I'm just tired of that little attitude, man.
Right. We'll see though, man. I don't know, man. It's like we're running with a bunch of second and third stringers compared to the league. By the way, your boy Sanu got picked up by the 49ers.
Yeah, I saw that. But I mean, to be fair, Marlon Davidson didn't play because he was listed as a scratch. Matt Hennessy, he didn't start, which I was kind of shocked at, but he didn't start. He came in a little bit. AJ Terrell, I like AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
But you got to understand he's a starting corner. So he's going against the team's best corner. And it's like, and that's difficult, man. It's for a rookie with no preseason games. You kind of got to.
Hey, some people have done it.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore has done it.
Yeah.
But with no preseason games, I understand that's tough. I'm looking at Isaiah Oliver, man.
Yeah.
Like Isaiah Oliver, dude, I'm just at the point, but he just ain't it. And I don't know. I just, to him to get burnt like the way he did is just, and then Cardo Allen doing the penalty. We cannot get off the field.
He's king penalty.
Yep. Russell Wilson had 4 touchdowns, and I believe Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Well, we know that, and we need to remember that too. That we got destroyed by somebody who could have won MVP last year.
Yeah. Yes.
And we know he's won rings. He's been to Super Bowls, more than one.
Right.
We know he's a star. He deserved his big contract. Yeah, he's a superstar. So I get that. But are we just gonna keep? You can't shy away from top tier teams. You're gonna have to play them. Right. Are we just gonna keep? Are those gonna be automatic losses? Are we just going to be like that's just an L? Like that Seattle game lost. Okay, yeah. A good team this weekend of Dallas lost.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep finding the bad teams and those aren't even guaranteed?
Nope. Especially rookie quarterbacks. We don't do well against rookie quarterbacks.
Who's our third matchup?
I can look at the schedule.
Okay. Because I really want to know, because it's just I'll be honest with you. I don't see us having that spark like we did. The Bears?
Yep. Bears are the third matchup.
I can't tell you anymore, man. That's that. I don't even know.
Because even you saw, you understand Tampa Bay struggle, and people are making fun of, they said they had the meme of Jameis Winston and say, "Oh, y'all thought it was me." Yeah. The thing is, they have no preseason games. This is a brand new team.
Chemistry. You got to throw with your receivers. Get on track with your quarterback, running back.
The interception he threw, it was a miscommunication between him and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Cool. That's gonna work itself out. Carolina looked good, even though they lost.
They did.
Came back, and then Las Vegas then came back and beat them. So they still
so weird. Las Vegas, but yeah,
it's still weird. And then the Saints are still the Saints.
True.
So it's like when you see this, and then you're not even talking. Aaron Rodgers played good. The Bears came back and won. If you look at the Rams beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are still no slouch. Ezekiel Elliott looks really good.
Yeah. Who was your biggest surprise of a team that did good?
Okay, the biggest surprise for me was the Jacksonville Jaguars, and because they're the biggest surprise is because I just thought they were tanking. I think everybody was like, "Bro, why are you winning games?" and for them to do that, so they were, to me, was the biggest surprise because I thought they're probably a candidate to go 0-16. So what about?
I don't know. I guess they're supposed to be good. Cleveland.
Yeah. You just thought they'd be better.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be better team-wise.
Also,
and they're playing tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
And they're going to be wearing orange pants. I don't know why that was a big news break, but
also another big surprise, and that leads me to my biggest disappointment, other than the Falcons. The biggest surprise, the New England Patriots, and they played against.
Yes. Thank you. That was
They played the Miami Dolphins, who were my biggest disappointment because I thought the Dolphins would have tried to been much improved.
Yeah,
and I was shocked that I just didn't think the Patriots would be that good. Like I didn't.
He's back. Cam's back. He's controlling the team. He's happy again. It appears for now.
Right.
I hinted and kept saying, watch out for that man. He's a bad man. He's working out. He's ready. If you follow him on his Instagram, he's been ready. He's been grinding nonstop with the pandemic. He's still been training. He still was training. He was getting those reps in. He just needed a team. I always said the best team for him was the Patriots. Boom, it happens. I like how he gets his opportunity and he's ready. He looks good. They look good.
Surprisingly,
now are they going to be as dominant? Bro, I hope not. Please give me a break. But can they be with him? Yes. Not dominant, but in that division, they can make it far again. Do I see a positive record? Yes. Do I see them keep going back to the AFC Championship? No. But at the same time, Cam, 100% healthy Cam can will any of that to happen again. Y'all please don't forget what Cam is at his core and what he has done, what he can be. Don't forget.
And they were doing plays that benefit Cam.
Yes.
They were because the first touchdown was he
had
ran
2 runs.
Yeah. So they did that benefited him. So I was just shocked, but I'm like, please don't tell me the Patriots are gonna be good.
Oh man, like I need, but I'm not shocked with them getting Cam.
So
but
go ahead.
I want him to still keep his head on the swivel, meaning look over your shoulder because even if you do good this year, they're probably cutting you.
So do you think it's an extra playoff spot this year?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah,
know
it's only one team is getting the bye, and that's the first team.
Okay.
Do you think, from what you've seen so far, that Atlanta could get that other spot?
The playoff spot or the bye?
No, the playoff. No, of course not.
Oh, please. I was about to get off this podcast. Well, actually, somehow we have the talent to get that bye spot. But I don't see it happening this year for some reason. Can we get the other one though? Yes. Yeah.
No. Yes.
It's yes, but off of talent. But from what I've seen, okay, give me one more game. Give me this Dallas game, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Sunday at the time of recording. Yes. At most, give me 4 games.
Okay.
If I don't see anything after the 4 games, say 5th game comes, it's over. There's no turning that around. It could happen, yes, but to me, there's no turning it around. The most I can see is what the Patriots have done in the past, going 1-3 and making it to the Super Bowl. They've done it more than once.
So you're saying at the Panthers game, which is the 5th game, you will know better.
Yes. I'll know by the end of game 4.
Okay.
By the end of it.
Okay.
I will know at the end of that game when it hits all zeros. I will tell you right then and there if the season's over or not.
Okay. I feel like I could tell you now.
If it was normal, I'd be like, okay, I get you. But with the pandemic and no practice, I say you can have your own opinion, but I say at least see one more game.
This is the only reason I I kind of disagree with you.
Okay.
Because they're doing the same things we've seen, like the same exact problems, the same exact thing. So it's like I don't know how I can have faith when it didn't work last year. And it's like the schedule arguably is harder this year. And I just don't, from what I saw, the offense for the most part seemed fine, except no, let me not even say fine, because we still Todd Gurley rushed for I think 57 yards, and we just abandoned the run.
Yeah.
On paper, the offense looks fine, but in the flow of the game, he rushed for 56 yards. For the flow of the game, no. I mean, we were 0-4 on fourth downs, and it's just like, I don't know, man. And we cannot get 1 yard.
Yeah.
1 yard, man. And it's just hard to watch this, man. It's just so hard. So that's why I'm saying I feel like I've seen enough, but I do understand if you want to give it a little bit more, because hopefully I just kicked myself.
Pandemic based. That's it. Just based off of needing more time. I say at least from the second game, which is against Dallas, all the way to the end of the fourth game. I'll know what's up. I may know by Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
But if things still look good with Matt Ryan doing well, then I will say by the end of what is I need to look to see what game 4.
Game 4, Green Bay.
I don't know, man.
Monday night game.
Prime time. Where is it?
Oh, hold on.
Well, actually, never mind. Never mind. Actually, it doesn't matter because there's no fans.
Yep, and we do historically good against Green Bay.
We do. We have the record of the past few years, including playoffs. So yes, that's true, and then also no fans. So it's all balance. If you got fans tonight though in the game at the time of recording, the Cleveland versus Bengals, they're one that got fans. That's gonna be interesting.
How was it to you without fans? Like, did it change kind of? Because I think Jacksonville had fans. I think
Jacksonville was allowed to have fans, and last Thursday opening they were allowed to have fans, and then today is the last game I believe that they've announced so far that's allowed to have fans for the season. After this, they haven't announced anybody else. Was
it weird with no fans?
No, because they did something right. Their pumped-in crowd noises were actually legit crowd noises from the NFL network. Or the NFL took old recordings, sound bites from previous games in the past and used real fans from the old games and just pumped it in at certain times. So if it was a third down, how loud the fans would be on a third down, they would insert that fan noise. Then if it was in general fans, noise from an old game, they would insert it there, or a touchdown, insert it there. So they had different styles of fan noises that were legit and real from the past. I like that rather than just fake noise that just wasn't authentic. It worked out. It wasn't bad as long as there was one game, I forgot what it was, where the person who was supposed to plug that in wasn't on point. It was all delayed, like you weren't paying attention. But when it is on point and it's on time, you can't tell the difference. And also how they show the game, you can't tell. Because like you mentioned last podcast, that it's spread out where the sideline and the fans would be. You usually can't really tell. So it's the part that really ruins is field goals. When they kick the field goals, you just see all that blank seats. It's just like,
No, I'm with you. I didn't miss the fans as I thought I would. I think
they did a good job.
You see so many people on the sideline already that it makes it almost seem like you said, you don't pan up to see the crowd that's not there. I think you're right. The field goals makes it awkward. Yeah. But I thought it was a pretty good experience. I was interested to see the actual gameplay. I thought people would I thought the big plays wouldn't happen, and they did. We even happened with Calvin Ridley being wide open because the safety and cornerback ran into each other. Yeah, being wide open, and I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else you want to add on the Falcons?
We'll see how Sunday go.
Yeah, we'll see how Sunday goes. That's the start of being serious for me, really analyzing them, and then we'll see for me game 4 max at the end of that.
Right.
But as we're wrapping up, let's segue to some college football.
Yes.
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
They can play as early as it's like mid or late October.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting. I want to know how they're going to do this. When will they stop? Obviously, they can do it because there's no playoff.
Well, no. What I actually read last night, and I thought I was going to say this, they're going to play 8 games right now, and the playoff committee is still meeting. They're still meeting for the playoffs, and that makes absolutely no sense to me.
Right.
Absolutely. Like I said, they should cancel the college football playoffs for this year. It makes no.
So they are having a playoff.
Yes, the committee.
So you're not allowed to, play against other teams in normal games, but they're going to be like, we'll allow you to have a playoff. Yeah. If so, you're gonna have to have a bubble.
Yeah, but it makes no sense to have a college football play because basically you're only playing games for scouts. Yes. That's the only reason you're doing it, to get ready for the NFL draft and maybe other players that can transfer or whatever. You're only doing it for scouts this year. To have a college football playoff makes absolutely no sense. Right. I'm happy for Justin Fields and all the other players who want to play. I think the Big Ten basically buckled under pressure, and they're going to play. And the Pac-12 is now even talking about playing.
Hey, it's not looking as likely for them though.
Yeah, they haven't. The government hasn't given them an okay. So they're
because of where their schools are located. No,
because California and the West Coast
is struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They've never stopped struggling, and then adding on the fires is just a whole other reason.
Yeah, so the Pac-12 might not play, but the Big Ten definitely. I thought they buckled under pressure. They like I said, they're playing 8 games, and it makes entirely no sense to have a college football.
Just 8. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Okay.
It just makes no absolute.
So, I mean, I guess that makes sense because whatever week that they start, mid or late October, it just essentially is like it's going to continue on. Their first game's the 4th game, 5th game for all the other schools that have been playing. It's all weird, man. College football has started 2 weeks ago. Majority of the bigger schools started last week. The Gators, SEC doesn't even start till next weekend.
Right.
Like, it's all just over that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Y'all can end up started all on the same week.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why you have all these commissioners and divisions doing whatever at this point, and they should all just came together and didn't do it. So it's all weird. I don't even know how many games like the SEC, like it's everybody doing 8 games. And then it's just you should have just can't. You should have had a conference championship and that's it. Like
that's weird for the schools that started on time.
Yeah,
they get to have their full schedule,
right?
And then you'll have a team that has 8 games,
and
maybe the SEC might have 10.
Right?
Like, how do you rank these?
They was asking the committee what are their criteria to rank this year, and they wouldn't give them to them because they don't want to live up to their criteria. They want to be able at a whim. If I need to switch it, to switch it. Another thing I do want to add about college sports, this might make you happy. Okay. That college basketball is supposed to start at the end of November 25th.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
More sports. I'm super excited for the kids because of the players. They get to get back to it. They didn't get to finish their season.
Right.
A champion was not crowned
for
the first time in forever long.
Right.
I'm super excited to see 2 squads. You guys know this out there.
Yeah.
Them Gators.
Of course.
And actually more excited than to see them. Duke. I love my Duke basketball.
Right. You do. Of course, I'm excited because I follow college basketball because of the draft. I want to see the top players, and I want to see where they kind of go. I want to see how they play.
Yeah.
I think it's better for basketball with the scout because, of course, they moved the draft back to November 18th, which I mean we agree with, especially if you're going to start in December, Christmas, then moving it to November makes logical sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for next year it was going to be so hard to do a draft and evaluate talent that I'm excited that I get to see these players and for evaluation for the draft.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good thing. I think we're gonna have some type of normality coming up soon as far as our TV programming, watching TV.
And also, is it safe to start watching baseball? You think I was watching baseball yesterday?
Thank you for bringing that up.
And I'm starting to get more comfortable watching baseball, especially watching the NFL. And they just reported that the Chiefs and Texans had no positive COVID.
Oh, good.
So I'm getting more comfortable. I think the way NFL goes, if NFL handles this correctly, you're probably not going to see a bubble next year. You're probably going to see more what the NFL is doing.
Yeah.
Because the NFL, now, of course, we got to give it a couple of weeks. But because the NFL has showed no positives as of yet, I feel more comfortable to get into baseball. I watched Cole Hamels. He got rocked on his first outing with the Braves.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to get back comfortable to watch because Freddie Freeman is doing very well.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think?
I think it's a good time. Especially it's always a good time when playoffs are right around the corner.
Right.
Until October. It's always a good time with college. Oh, sorry, with baseball during this time.
Right.
Now, what I wanted to mention in regards to baseball was they decided for the playoffs to do a bubble. About time.
No, like don't do it now. Don't do it now.
No,
you should do it. It's smart to do it, but I'm saying like you should have been did it. But
you should have done it. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you were thinking. I think it's a good idea to do it now. Yeah, probably because there's X amount of teams now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's easier probably to do it.
I get it, but like the NBA did it with a lot of teams.
Yeah,
they were hosting your boys. Who was it? They were hosting your boys, the Wizards, for a good 4 games, and we're like, all right, get up on. We're gonna get up on out of here.
Yeah, the Wizards was like, you ain't even gotta kick us out. We knew we weren't supposed to be there.
But y'all still have room and board for them boys.
Yeah. No, and you're right. But I think if the NFL is successful, and that's why we both said we weren't excited about the NFL because of that. Yeah. But if they are successful, you're gonna see more of the sports leagues do this. So you're not going to see bubbles anymore. They're going to host them.
At this point, though, I trust the NFL way more than college football. College football, if you have not seen how many people have been getting COVID,
you're dealing with
the pandemic.
Young people who are still partying and interacting and not really listening to the older people who has families and stuff that they're trying to protect.
Yeah. Cases on cases, man. I think Georgia Southern had like 31.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Other teams, there's teams that have up to 60 people, staff, players, all this stuff. Like it's insane. Like it just keeps going throughout. It's been going throughout the camps before the season started, and now that it started, it's still happening.
Yeah,
I'm talking about teams are playing against other teams with barely any players.
Yeah, and I think what people are trying to say is this is probably a way of life, and I think that's what baseball is basically saying. This is a way of life, and we need to figure how to live with it and not run from it. But
baseball's disrespectful that they didn't even try.
Yeah, they didn't even try, but I think that's what people are doing. Because even when you watch the news, I don't see as much updates of this many people have positive cases anymore. So
people stopped getting. I mean, we're not going to get on it, but people stopped getting tested. That's been a big thing. Is people are just like you said, it's a way of life now. It's just what it is.
Life. And then so I think that again, if NFL is successful, you're going to see a lot more people try to go back to normality. Now, fans might not it still might be a percentage fans are coming in, but they're not going to do a bubble next year. Guarantee NBA. No. If NFL is successful, NBA will not do a bubble next year.
Yeah. I think you still might want to limit the capacity of fans if
No,
you're going to
absolutely.
have fans
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
every sport.
You probably
And
still
definitely
gonna
you can't have the celebrities or any the rich people in the front rows. They can't be that close at all.
right. It's still going to be like
But
10
yeah,
or 20%. And you're right. NBA is going to be a little tougher because the fans sit closer. So you really have to like maybe a couple rows back from it if you're going to do it. But you're still probably going to do 10, 20% if you're going to do it.
Yeah. But I guess those are our big topics.
Yep.
Yeah. So just to wrap up, how do you feel about the game tonight at the time of recording? Guys, you'll already know the score when this goes up, but the Bengals, Browns, all that stuff. Yeah.
I need Austin Hooper, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues, even though I really only wanted to do 1, but I'm in 3 fantasy leagues, so I need those people to go off. I'm giving the Browns 1 more week to show me what they have on offense before I just completely give up on them.
Agreed.
Austin Hooper was a huge disappointment, man.
Yeah.
Huge, but Njoku is gone for the season, so hopefully Austin Hooper now comes up. Nick Chubb didn't have a bad game; he just didn't have a good
not at all.
shooter.
Yeah,
and Jarvis Landry the same. He didn't have a bad game; he just didn't have a good one. Odell Beckham had a terrible game, but again, they're going to Baltimore, and Baltimore is really good. So
yeah, agreed.
I think the Browns will win. Joe Burrow, he had the long, I think a 20-yard rushing touchdown. They didn't do after that.
Yeah,
I don't expect a lot from them because they're a young team. Remember, I told you they should have never got rid of Andy Dalton. I felt like he was a good backup for Joe Burrow. I think without a preseason, they're still going to hit their lumps. So I have Cleveland winning, not by much, but I need Nick Chubb, Austin Hooper, and Jarvis Landry to go off.
I just think it'll be a good primetime game. So hopefully so at least.
It'll be good, but I have the Browns winning.
All right. Sounds good. With that being said, that's the show. We're gonna wrap it up right here, right now. Make sure you guys follow us on SoundCloud. Links will be in the description down below, and then on SoundCloud, you guys listening, wonderful people. Link in the description down below for YouTube, and then all our stuff is on listed down below and on here on YouTube on the screen. So we want to thank you guys so much. Episode 49, and we got a nice episode. Whatever it's gonna be about, episode number 50, the big 50. That's crazy. Next week.
Yep. That's dope.
Yeah. All right. So we'll catch you same place, same time next week. Till then, enjoy your games, wear your mask, register to vote, all that stuff. Do your thing, do your part, and take it easy, y'all. Peace.